Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. I wish to Dr. Ihata and my friend Miss Irene. Okay, today I would like to do a presentation on the evolution of microbes. Okay, microorganisms are known to have lived around 3.5 billion years ago. Microorganisms has evolved to adapt to newer and newer environments. Many factors that can contribute to the evolution of the microorganisms. Microbes also have the capacity to change their resistance, virulence, transmissibility, and other characteristics. Okay, this is the picture on a study of the history of all organisms, which originates from microorganisms. Okay. Okay, what are the factors of microbial evolution? Okay, these are the factors. Osmotic pressure, pH. The osmotic pressure will the microorganisms that have adapted with high osmotic pressure are called halophiles and pH. The extremophiles that can live in high pH or lower pH are called acidophiles or alkalinophiles. And the temperature, the microorganisms that can live and have adapted in high temperatures are called hyperthermophiles, and the ones that live in extreme cold temperatures are called psychrophiles. Plus the oxygen concentration, pressure, and radiation as well. The microorganisms that can live in high pressure environments are called barophiles. Okay, this is a picture of an organism that I'm going to talk about, which is the Vibrio cholera. Okay, this is it, the picture of the Vibrio cholera. Okay, the overview is it is a gram-negative bacteria which is comma-shaped and mostly lives in brackish water or saltwater environment, often attached to crabs, shrimps, or other shellfish, which is actually they attach to these organisms because they have chitin on them. Okay, it is sensitive to acid, and it causes cholera disease. Okay, let's talk about the adaptation or evolution of the Vibrio cholera. It needs to respond to various fluctuation conditions because in the sea or brackish water there are lots of changing conditions such as osmotic stress, nutrient limitation, and predation. Okay, there are strategies to survive, which includes the formation of biofilm on a biotic and biotic surface, which is can be on an organism or perhaps a rock or something like that. Okay, and it does transition to a metabolically quiescent state, which is a stable dormant state. Okay, perhaps then it also adapt to provide storage of nutrients because perhaps there are places or sometimes they have nutrient efficiency and nutrient inavailability. Okay, there are also protective responses to specific physiological and biological stresses. Okay, this is an electron microscope image of the biofilm. Okay, the formation of biofilm. Firstly, they would like to they scan the surfaces and attachment for the and attach to the surface. Then they produce extracellular matrix, which includes polysaccharides and proteins and nucleic acids. And the nutritional status is important for the biofilm formation. Highly conserved bacterial phosphonepyruvate phosphotransferase system (PTS) was recently linked to the regulation of the biofilm formation, and the biofilm itself need to be regulated because it often undergoes lots of fluctuations of sometimes perhaps pH of water, the oxygen concentration and temperatures as well, making the biofilm vulnerable. The biofilm simply provides protection, growth for the Vibrio cholera. How about the nutrient acquisition? Vibrio cholera is a phototrophic, which is they need to gain nutrients from their environment. And variable conditions such as intra and interspecies competition, as well as predation as well. They have used adaptation such as chitin utilization. They use the chitin. Nutrient storage by nutrient storage granules, which is by using intracellular glycogen stores. It is also since Vibrio cholera needs micronutrients such as phosphate and iron, they've adapted to the place where the phosphate and iron is very low in concentration. This is an image showing the organisms or structures that has chitin in it. It includes the exoskeletons, octopus, and even fungi. Plus the response to physiological and biological stresses. Vibrio cholera adapt to changes in salinity of water and the changes in temperature, and they also have come up with a generation of metabolically dormant cells to survive for a longer time. And a type 6 secretion system which provides environmental survival and defense. It is a special secretion from the Vibrio cholera. Plus the protozoan gazing. Protozoa is actually a natural predator to Vibrio cholera. So they have adapted to be Vibrio cholera adapted to be rather aggressive and kill the protozoans. This is the reference that I've done, that I've used for the Vibrio cholera section. Let's move on. This is the other microbe that I've chose, which is tilapia lake virus. This is the picture showing the symptoms of the disease. Introduction to the tilapia lake virus. It is a virus that related to Orthomyxoridae strains. It infects almost all species of tilapia across the world, actually, including Malaysia, Thailand, America, and other places, including other cichlidae species. The symptoms of the diseases are loss of appetite in fish, respiratory distress, and as well skin erosion as well. Actually I didn't found much about evolution of adaptation of specifically about tilapia lake virus, but in general I did found some evolution or adaptation of viruses. Firstly, they undergo genotypic changes, change in their genes. Then they adapt by avoidance of organisms' defense system. They found a way to to avoid the organism defense system and still infect the organism. And recombinant RNA or DNA. In this case, tilapia lake virus is a single strand RNA virus. So forming recombinant DNA would perhaps make them evolve. Okay, then viral mutation. Viral mutation and recombinant RNA is a bit different because the mutation is fixed. When the virus mutate, it couldn't go back, and evolutions toward drug resistance. Okay, this is an example of recombinant DNA or recombinant RNA, which they have two different strains that enters a cell or enters a host. Then they end up having a recombined DNA or RNA. Okay, this is the reference that I've done that I've used for this tilapia lake virus, but it actually shows that it is actually explaining about the immune response in tilapia disease. There are lots of researchers doing more on the disease and how to tackle the tilapia lake virus disease instead of their evolution. Okay, these are my predictions and ideas on the microbial evolution. And I would say perhaps microbes will adapt towards the climate change, the rising in temperature, or the global warming, the rise of temperature in water, and acidification of water, and something like that. Pathogenic microbes will find a way to survive. Somehow they will try to survive by perhaps avoiding or becoming more resistant to the antibiotics or something like that. And perhaps in the future, pathogens will evolve to attach to hosts but not killing them, making them having nutrients for such a long time, for a longer time, instead of killing them. And perhaps let's hope that the COVID-19 virus is not evolving before we get a proper vaccine. Okay, is there any question? Okay, if not, okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum.